Jack here, JBF Music and Guitar Lessons, back with some more quick guitar tricks for you. This bizarre, but oddly diverse scale. In this quick guitar tricks, we're looking at a scale that in all honesty I just stumbled across when noodling around in a vaguely Chris Poland or George Lynch style. For more on those guys, check out the little eye up there. I've really been trying to capture some of their amazing use of exotic or kind of out sounds in my playing a bit more recently, and thought I'd share this happy little accident with you guys. I've run it through a few scale identifiers and they've all come back blank, so please leave your insights or suggestions as to what it should be called in the comments. All resources from this will be up on my patreon.com/JBFmusic. I'm going to break down the scale in terms of fairly easily digestible music theory and give some ideas of how you might want to use it. Feel free to skip ahead to whichever part is most relevant to yourself using the chapters below. If you appreciate this anti-waffle system and enjoy the stuff I'm putting out, please consider letting the algorithm know by leaving a like and doing the old subscribe and the notifications thing. I'm sure you know the drill by now, but it really does help the channel out an awful lot. So, by the end of this, you guys should have a shiny new scale to play around with and an idea of some of the context you might want to use it in. It's a 9-note scale, so a bit odd from the get-go. I'm playing it in C here. Check the eye up there for a suitable jam track. We've got C, C sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp, G, G sharp, A, C. Since there are a lot of repeating notes and I don't want to face the wrath of the online music theorist community, because I mean, who does? Using the enharmonic values of C, D flat, E flat, F flat, G flat, G, A flat, B flat, C is probably a better idea. It's the same pitch, but it's a little bit neater way of writing it out since we've got less repeating notes. When we do that, we get something very close to a super Locrian, that scale being C, D flat, E flat, F flat, G flat, A flat, B flat, and C. The other possibility for the way which I'd probably tend to use this scale makes more sense is thinking about it essentially as a Phrygian blues scale, more than that with the eye up there, but in a nutshell that hybrid scale is just Phrygian with an extra flat fifth, the blues note. So we'd have C, D flat, E flat, F, G flat, G, A, B flat, C. So we've got 9 notes this time, the only problem is this F natural. However, if we flatten that F to an F flat, we get this new mystery scale. So I'm moving the F flat to here to make it a bit easier to play, and I know F flat is incredibly confusing, it's just an E, but we really don't want to tempt the wrath of the online music theory community here. which for the time being, because it's a Phrygian blues scale, if we flat the 4th, I'm calling it a Phrygian Blues Flat 4th. It doesn't really pop, does it? See why I welcome the other suggestions. Here's the full shape we'll be using. Okay, so next up let's break down the intervals and see which chords this could work over, get an idea of how to use it. We've got the root, flat 2nd, flat 3rd, flat 4th, flat 5th, 5th, flat 6th, flat 7th, and we're back to the root. Well, we know from the name I've given it, it's some sort of Phrygian variation potentially, so over a minor chord we want to see the root, the flat 3rd and the 5th. Yep, all present and correct. So if you whittle through the scale, provided you land on or resolve to one of those notes, over a minor chord, it should sound good, albeit a bit tense due to the nature of the scale. Here's a quick idea followed by a backing track for you to try your own ideas out over. I'm more or less going through the scale using the chord tones as pit stops. As a side note, due to the flat 7th, it'll work just fine over a C minor 7 as well. The theory-minded among us may have already hypothesized that since this is very similar to Super Locrian, a diminished chord might work here as well. Let's have a look. Well, we've got the root, we've got a flat 3rd, and a flat 5th, so it looks promising. Like before, resolving to one of these chord tones will have more conviction, even when playing over an unstable chord like this. I'm really just outlining the arpeggio, adding in the flat 9 and flat 6 in passing for some more edge. Again, I'll follow this with a little bit for you to experiment with your own ideas over. And again, because of that flat 7th, we could create a half diminished arpeggio, meaning it would work over that chord, also known as a minor 7 flat 5, as the transatlantic cousins will call it, which I think is actually a better name. Now, I can't agree with you guys on football being called soccer and American football being called football, but minor 7 flat 5, nailed it. In fairness, I think association football, i.e. soccer, is actually the fault of us Europeans, but I'm wandering off the grid on a tangent here, so I time to rein it back in. If we look at our intervals, if you're a bit hazy on them, check out the tutorial with a little eye up there. We've got that flat 7th, so like I say, that minor 7 flat 5, all fair game. Alright, but what about a major chord? Well, we can even tackle that. It's a bit convoluted, but if we look at the intervals of root, flat 2, flat 3, flat 4, flat 5, 5, flat 6, flat 7th, if we call the flat 4 a major 3rd, then we have actually got a root, 3rd, and 5th. Alright, let's liquefy that. A quick idea from me first, sticking to the major arpeggio, but adding in some flat 6 for that augmented vibe. Then again, a little jam for you to try ideas of your own out over. Alright, and in keeping with the trend, as you may have predicted, I've got another side note here. You might notice that I said augmented before. Well, that's because this flat sixth, it's enharmonically at a sharp 5. If we've got the 5th here, sharpen it, sharp 5th. Also, that's called augmented, an augmented 5th. So you could use this scale over an augmented triad, which consists of root, 3rd, and sharp 5. So just for good measure, here's that arpeggio across the scale. Technically, you could even go up here, which we'll touch on in a wee minute. However, there is yet one more chord I want to take a look at, and that's because I think this might very well be the best chord for this scale. If we look through the intervals one last time, it's this bit like in the Spider-Verse where they keep going through the origin stories. Just think about it that way. Bear with me, guys. This is the last one. Right, we've got the root, flat 2nd, flat 3rd, flat 4th, which we'll be calling the 3rd again, flat 5th, 5th, flat 6th, flat 7th. You can see that there is a flat 7th, so we can make a dominant 7 chord of root, 3rd, 5th, and flat 7th. In this lick, I'm starting off with a really Mixolydian sounding idea, then adding in some of the spicier notes before going back up the scale, where I really put the odd notes in the spotlight. If you're still with me after that lengthy dive, props to you and a shout out to the Lick Squad Elite. You guys rock. Like before, here's an idea from myself, followed by a track that you guys can jam out over. This will be a dominant 7. Okay, so those licks were some more specific practical examples. Here are some more vague ideas for you. I found this scale because I was playing with the symmetrical scale shape, this one. So it's just going up by a semitone, followed by a tone, and taking that across the neck. I just started playing about the top 3 strings, and something just sort of clicked in my brain, and I realised there was some sort of pattern going on. It was within an octave, here to here. So I worked out it was this set of notes, and then just worked out what there'd be across the rest of the fretboard, across the remaining strings. And that's it. So tip number 1 is very much in that vein. You can just noodle on the G, B and E strings. And you can mess about with it and get some pretty cool results. Tip 2, try different fingerings. 2 simple ones are to add in this 12th fret on the high E. You can also try moving this 12th fret from the low E to the 7th fret on the A string. So using tip 1 and then adding in little bends or slides between this 11th and 12th fret on the high E, in conjunction with each other, it sounds pretty good to me. And using the 7th fret on the A string, the other one I mentioned will also make you play a bit differently. For me, it makes me tend to go for a dominant 7 type sound. Another note we could add in is the 6th fret on the low E string. If we use the shape of tone, semitone, we can take this across the strings, moving up a sharp 4th every time. While we don't use every note in the scale, it's a really nifty way of spanning the fretboard using a same shape, just moved up by a semitone on each new string. So we're going here, and imagine going across the string and up a semitone. You do this for every time except the B string when you have to move up by a tone as well as going across a new string, just to compensate for its tuning. Tip 3. Embrace the semitone bends. There are a lot of them and they sound killer. Tip 4. We've been using C as our root, this 8th fret on the low E string. So if you want to try another key, just move the shape. For example, if we wanted it in E, we could find an E on the low E string, the 12th fret, and we could play the shape here. Tip 5. For mystical reasons at present beyond my world ken, this magic but an easy scale is pretty complementary to most chords. So if you're soloing and for whatever reason forget the tonality you're in, but know the root, or playing over like a vamp that switches between, for example, a C minor, a C minor 7, C major, C dominant 7, and or a C minor 7 flat 5, any combination thereof, bust out this scale for some exotic flavours. Just make sure to resolve the edgier licks to the root. Tip 6. If you like the scale, try it out in all different positions over the neck, but I'll leave that one up to you guys. And tip 7. If you want even more exotic or unusual scale shapes to play around with, check out that video. This has been Quick Guitar Tricks, that's the playlist there. But yeah, hit subscribe to keep up to date with the channel, leave me a comment, check out the tab on my Patreon, and enable all notifications by ringing that little bell on the side if you feel so inclined. Cheers guys.